We would like to thank all of our sponsors for the first ever Lorcana Battle of the Bay. Each of our sponsors has contributed towards the prizing of this event to make sure it is a complete success. And to all of our volunteers, thank you for your continued support. Together, we are stronger.
Welcome back, everybody. It is time for the next round, the penultimate round of Swiss. That's a big word. I know you're impressed. The second to last. Round 7 of 8. Around 130 players taking part today. So 8 rounds of Swiss necessary. We are then going to have a top cut. It is still closed deck lists, but when we reach the top cut, it will be open deck lists. Very, very similar format to what we have in our Disney Lorcana challenges. Thanks, Tinelli. I appreciate it, mate. That's really kind. Very, very kind indeed. And my first time seeing the deck lists here as well. You can see what looks like. I want to be careful to be a bit quiet. Amber Steel versus Emerald Amethyst, maybe? Yeah. It's got quite quiet in the hall here. We're at the business side of things, with each player wanting to maximize their points, of course, throughout the day to get themselves into that top cut. Hey, Lolly, good to see you. Hope you're well. Yeah, and I just want to take the opportunity again to say a big thank you to everyone here in California for being so welcoming, having so much fun, getting to meet lots of different people. I'm slightly jealous that I've not had too many chances to play Lorcana, but tomorrow I'm going to be at a local game store and there's a challenge specie day where anyone that wants some can get some. So if you're in the area, you weren't able to attend today, come challenge me tomorrow. I'll be around. Here we go. 2-game format, of course, so each player going to have an opportunity to go first. It is going to be Emerald Amethyst going first in game 1, with the Go-Go Tamago into the Inkwell, and in comes that classic Cursed Merfolk. Cursed Merfolk can quest for 2, of course. On the other side, it's going to be Nala played down. I actually didn't catch what was inked. But Nala with a 0-4 stat line. We saw Mr. Zach Bivens playing that in the NA versus EU tournament. It's going to be the new Diablo inked, and in comes Ursula Deceiver. Is there any songs? Well, there certainly is. One song is all she needs, and one song is what she finds. Let the Storm Rage On is going to be discarded from the hand, but that's not all that she does, Ursula Deceiver. Gets to see the rest of the hand as well, and information is power. I've got hiccups because I've just been downing my coffee. First quest of the day, and it's going to be Cursed Merfolk questing for 2. 2 lore to nothing to start things off here. Emerald Amethyst in the ascendancy, looking to make advantage of the fact it went first. Nala is down on the board though, but with that 0 strength, not going to be able to take out Cursed Merfolk without some help. It's going to be Mr. Smee for 2, and Nala will quest for 1. Really, in this position, you'd like to be able to challenge the Cursed Merfolk, but the Nala with 0 strength, it could challenge Cursed Merfolk, but it wouldn't do very much. It would deal no damage, and you'd have to discard a card. So no surprises to see Nala questing instead. Kick Cloud Kicker into the ink. In comes Crab. Crab going to be giving this Ursula extra strength, and suddenly that Nala is no more. And Cursed Merfolk questing for 2. 4 lore to 1 right now. Mr. Smee on the board for Amber Steel. We're definitely seeing players in this meta game. It's a bit more of a quick meta than we saw in set 5, I think. And therefore, Ed was talking to us earlier in the interview. It's really interesting how he's thinking maybe going first is even better than it has been in previous meta games. It's definitely a big reason I love the Amethyst Steel deck I've been playing with things like Fire the Cannons and Befuddle to really help you when going second. It's going to be Lawrence for 3 ink, coming through as a 4-4. Mr. Smee can quest, also could challenge Ursula or Cursed Merfolk. Of course, if you challenge Cursed Merfolk, you are going to have to discard a card. But it might be a necessary evil. 3 cards in hand. Cinderella, Pluto, and Rapunzel. You'd imagine it's going to be the Cinderella that will be discarded. Smee is going to challenge Merfolk, and it is going to be the Pluto discarded, which surprises me. What do you think about that, chap? Pluto over the Cindy. Of course, if you can shift in Cindy, you can get it in for 5. But it's definitely an expensive card to be holding on to at this stage in the game. It's Crab and Ursa the Deceiver down on the board right now for Emerald Amethyst. And in comes the Genie. It's a 2/4 evasive, and when you play it, you draw a card. Abe is just as surprised as I am. Interesting moment with this Ursula, because if Ursula was to quest here, it does potentially set up Smee challenging Ursula into that Rapunzel for the extra card draw, which could be a big deal. Crab, of course, could trade out the Smee as well. And Crab will trade out the Smee. The trigger is going to be given to Ursula, it looks like. It's not going to impact anything, but it is a trigger that has to come through. It is a mandatory trigger, the Crab. Which often doesn't matter, but of course, famously in Lille, it absolutely did. The Crab left play, and it was supposed to give the +3 challenger to an opponent character, because there was no other characters on the board. They had a Queen's Castle, so they had a Crab and a Castle on the board. The Crab got removed, and it should have given the plus strength to one of the opponent's characters, which could have taken out the Castle. It didn't happen, and it was a very sad time to be a caster, because I noticed it, but it didn't end up being recognized. Cinderella, 1 ink spent on her. Lawrence and Cindy on the board. Rapunzel and Cinderella stout-hearted in hand. It's Rapunzel inked, and suddenly that decision to ink the Pluto instead of the Cinderella stout-hearted, a risky play which could pay off. Rewarded potentially for what seemed like a controversial play, and oh my goodness, everybody, stop the cast because I smell tacos. Oh my goodness, thank you so much. I'll eat them after this game. They look so good though. I get used to it. Thank you, mate.
Fish is inside.
Hero. Thank you so much. Yeah. Banzai, Genie, Robin Hood, and Ursula. Is it Robin Hood? It can't be Robin Hood. What is that? The glare. Genie quest for 2. It's a couple of Ursulas and a Banzai. Can you eat the tacos and review them live on stream? Yes. After this game, sure. They look so good. Oh my god. Yes. They look so good. I got like a little slice of lime. I got some hot sauce. I do like my spice. Oh my goodness, it's Cinderella stout-hearted. Are you kidding me? We all thought the Cindy was going to be inked. Pluto was instead, and massively rewarded because suddenly the Cinderella is keeping them in the game. Respectfully, it's tacos, not tacos. Respectfully, you're wrong. It's tacos. I'm not American. I am from England. It is definitely not a taco. That is just not how I talk. Respectfully. I rate the comment though, Alan. I thought Americans said taco, honestly. Honestly, the more I think about it, I feel like I should say taco. I'm just confused. Peter Pan, Shadowfinder is going to rush in and challenge Lawrence. It will be banished, but now Lawrence is essentially a 0/4. And it will be taken out by the Banzai. The rest will quest. 11 law to 9 now, I believe, is the score, or 10 to 9. Respectfully, when tacos are present, talking shouldn't be. True. I kind of have to talk, though. I don't think I can eat my tacos. Now I'm confused. Cindy, stout-hearted, is going to be healed up with the Rapunzel. And it is Cindy versus the world right now. I don't know the score in Swiss. Let me see if I can find out. I don't know. Sorry. A hot dog's a sandwich, of course. How long am I in California? Like 5 days. I arrived on Thursday and I'm leaving on Monday. All it's done since I got here was rain, and then today it's beautiful and sunny, and guess what? I'm stuck inside. Genie, Ursula, and the White Rose, the new set 6 card. When you play it, gain 1 lore. It's Pete, World's Greatest Criminal Mind, in hand here. $15 lore to 9. That evasive Genie, such a menace. Two for stat line and quest for 2. So difficult to deal with here. World's Greatest Criminal Mind isn't going to help either. Although it would, if played, allow Cinderella Stout-Hearted to challenge the White Rose. But the Rapunzel here, with its 1/5 stat line, not doing an abundance of anything in terms of board control either. It's actually 15 to 8 now. I read the 6 as a 9, my mistake. I know there's also a couple of big events happening in Europe today as well. There was one in Italy, which probably is finished by now. It is Cinderella Stout-Hearted challenging the White Rose, enabled by the song being played, which did nothing, but it did allow the White Rose to be challenged, denying the bounce back of the White Rose. Could have, of course, just challenged the Ursulas, but the White Rose maybe as a bounce target was a threat. It's Diablo and Elsa in hand here. Diablo will be inked. 5 ink on Elsa. Can rush in, of course, with evasive, but I imagine it's just time to quest. It is big questing power. Not sure about the inking of the Diablo there. Didn't need to. Could have actually played the Diablo. I couldn't have played it. And the Elsa. There was 5 ink before that. Might have just been better to hold on to Diablo though. But that is going to be game number 1, and it goes to Emerald Amethyst. And a bit of a theme of the day, really, with the player going first really dominating it. It does seem to be the case for Amber Steel in particular. Really, really dominant when going first, but it has been struggling so far today when going second. Emerald Amethyst just too speedy in that case. Yeah, you guys might be right. Well, I'll try and... Fortunately, it didn't have any impact on that one. But yeah, probably right that the World's Greatest Criminal Mind had to select their own card as an option there. Didn't end up mattering. No worries at all. But good catch, chat. And I've got these tacos in front of me, just looking delightful. They look so good. Thank you for the tacos. I'm going to give them a little whiff. Oh my goodness. They smell better than they look. Some pretty nice shuffling skills on display from both players as well. I got all of the options, Alan. I got pork, beef, and fish. This is the seventh round of Swiss, 7 of 8. This is the penultimate round. We will be going into a top cut after this, so plenty more Lorcana action to look forward to today. need a taco cam. I had my first little bite and it's good. It's real good. Big shout out to everyone watching live on YouTube and Twitch. VOD will be available on YouTube, don't forget. Give the stream a like on YouTube if you're enjoying it. My stream will most likely be back after this on Tuesday. I do arrive home on Tuesday morning, so it's possible I'll be a bit too tired to stream Tuesday evening, but the plan is, if I ever come to LA, I'll take you to the best spots. Let's go, Alan. I did actually spend one night in LA last year and did enjoy it very much. I actually had some fish tacos when I was in LA that were particularly good. That was before I was playing physical card games though, so I did not stop off at any local game stores. Here we go, Cinderella Ballroom Sensation to start things off. White Rose into the Inkwell, no card played. Now, usually that feels bad against Cindy. However, oh my goodness, look at that. We give the people what they want here. It's Taco Cam. Oh. Back to the action. That Cinderella has now exerted. I believe it might have been to Quest for One. Kick Cloud, kick it into the ink. Ursula Deceiver, going to come through. And yeah, what I was saying, it might be a deliberate decision not to play a one-cost character into the Cinderella, because then it enables your Ursula on turn 2 to snipe the song, which otherwise could be sung and removed from hand. So I'm not sure if there was an option to play a one-cost character there, but if there was, and they decided not to, an incredibly heads-up decision. Maybe even mulliganing away one-cost characters when going second for that same reason. You can see the new Diablo in the hand for our Emerald Amethyst player. Gaston down on the board as well. We saw Zach Bivens, and it does look like a list inspired by Zach Bivens on the Amber Steel here. This Gaston card really putting in a lot of work. Just 16 songs in the list which Zach Bivens was playing, so often they're going for Gaston instead of Ariel. It's a Singer 5 with a 3-3 stat line. Kick Cloud Kicker bounces that Cindy back to hand. Ursula Quest for One. Back on over to Amber Steel Songs with the Gaston Singer 5 down on the board. Ready and waiting. Pluto Guard Dog available. Also has the Whole New Worlds, couple of them in hand. So one thing which we saw Zach do was sing the Whole New World and get the Pluto down to protect the singer. So that is something we could see. We could see the Cindy inked, the Pluto come down as a bodyguard, Gaston sing the Whole New World, and off to the races. It is going to be, in fact, Pluto inked, and then 1 ink spent on Cindy, 2 ink on Smee. Are we going to see the Whole New World come through? We certainly are. Whole New World is sung. Both players discard the hand and draw 7 fresh cards. But no bodyguard protection, deciding instead to go for the Cindy and the Smee. 1 ink still available as well, so something like a Daisy Duck, a Cindy, or a Nala off the top would be a nice option to make use of that last floating ink. Not forthcoming, however. Kick Cloud Kicker and Ursula on the other side. Something like a Fox right now would be really, really powerful into the Gaston. Get rid of that Singer as quickly as possible. White Rose inked, Kick Cloud Kicker, bouncing Cindy back. 1 ink on a Diablo, which when banished draws a card. Kit and Ursa can quest, or could combine to take out the Gaston. They do quest, and it's 3 lore to 1. Remember, Emerald Amethyst 1-0 up in the series in this 2-game format, but it is Amber Steel going first in game number 2. An abundance of cards available. 4 ink in the Inkwell, can ink to 5 this turn. Does have that Singer 5 Gaston on the board as well. Kick, Cloud Kicker and Ursula exerted on the opponent's side of the board. A grab your swords would clear here, apart from the Ursula. Doesn't look like Pluto's available. Pluto definitely would have been an interesting option. Yeah, there's definitely an option to have traded the Gaston out there, but I don't know. I can see why they just decided to quest instead. Ultimately, you need to get Lore to win the game, and they decided they'd rather the 2 Lore than trade the Gaston at this moment. Cindy for 1 ink. It's a Gaston into the Inkwell, so 4 ink left to work with. And is that the good boy Pluto? It certainly is. The guard dog Pluto coming in as a 5/5 bodyguard, similar ability to Lawrence, which is if Pluto's damaged, it reverts to a 1/5 instead of a 5/5. 5/5 bodyguard. And Madame Imfox's worst nightmare right there. I have started munching slightly on the tacos, guys. I'm not going to lie to you. I might have got a bit distracted. Three Lore apiece. That Smee will be taking some damage after this turn, as there are no captains on the board. Pluto is a good boy, but not a captain. I don't know what it is about card games and having dogs called good boys, but it seems quite common. In Gwent, there's a good boy as well, Knickers. And yeah, Pluto Bodyguard, the ability of it is called Good Boy. What a Targo, it's brilliant. It's going to be going into the ink. Gaston took down Cloud Kicker in the last turn as well. That's why there's 2 damage counters there. Crab combining with Kit. See you later, good boy. That's a pretty mean little combo, the Crab and Kit dealing with Pluto. In comes Ursula, that's pretty mean as well. Songs can be discarded. There's 3 of them. Zeus. The new card, I can't remember this card's name. It gives, like, let me double check what it does. I actually don't have the list in front of me. Maybe I do. Aha, I do. I'm Still Here is the song. 3-cost Ingable song in steel. Chosen character gains resist 2 until the start of your turn, your next turn, and draw a card. Definitely an interesting addition to these Amber Steel decks. An Inkable song which draws a card can never be too bad. Another Pluto has been drawn. I didn't catch the last turn too much because I was looking at the deck list, but it looks like Diablo quested and then play passed back quite swiftly. Cindy and Smee ready and waiting. 4 Lore to 3 in favour of Emerald Amethyst, who did go second in this game, remember. Emerald Amethyst won game 1 while going first, and is looking to get the 2-0 and those bonus points. And yeah, that new card in hand that we were just talking about, that new song, is still available. I'm Still Here. Can be sung by either Smee or Cindy. Smee's going to quest, just ignoring that Diablo for now. Of course, Cindy could challenge and take it out. Pluto could come down here. Pluto, the card being hovered. Will it come in as a bodyguard? It will. 5/5 bodyguard on the good boy. 1 ink still to play with. I'm Still Here. Is that what it's called? I'm Still Here. Will be sung, it seems, by the Cindy. Or will she be doing something different? Yeah. So I'm Still Here gives Pluto resist 2 until the start of the next turn. And you draw a card. You thought a 5/5 bodyguard was difficult to deal with? Well, this is essentially a 7/5 bodyguard right now with that resist 2. Only a Crab Fox Wombo combo can really tear down Pluto at this moment in time. But there is the threat of it, considering there's a crab on the board. Fox right now could deal with this Pluto pretty swiftly indeed. The hand is Clarabelle, Clarabelle 1 drop, Clarabelle 7 drop, Elsa, and one other card. That one other card is a Genie. 4 ink spent on Genie, card drawn. I think Ursula was the card drawn. And they did see the hand not too long ago. They go for it again, but look what's been drawn. It's a whole new world. All the other songs, they knew the Zeus was still there. The Strength was discarded by the last Ursula. Then the I'm Still Here was played. They knew that the Zeus was there, so it was a guaranteed hit. But now the option as well, of course, of discarding the Whole New World. No singers for the Whole New World right now, however. So definitely an option to take the Zeus instead, which can be sung by Pluto, but does decide to get rid of the Whole New World. Of course, that Pluto is a bodyguard, and it has resist 2 right now. Will they remember that? It's going to be a quest for 2 with Ursula and Diablo. The crab is not going to quest at all, but instead remain ready and waiting, perhaps hoping to pull off that combo with the crab and Fox to deal with Pluto. Pluto no longer has resist 2. I don't believe. I think the resist runs out at the start of your turn. Let me double check. Yeah, the resist on Pluto has now run out, but Rapunzel lets down her hair, heals Mr. Smee, and draws a couple of cards just for good measure. I'm Still Here is here again in the hand. 9 law to 5, or is it 6 law to 5? I think it's 6 law to 5 in favour of Emerald Amethyst. But both players do have a pretty wide board right now. Pluto Bodyguard going to kick things off by singing, and then along came Zeus. See you later, Genie. And that's why I'm sure there was a temptation to discard the Zeus instead of the Whole New World. Really, really powerful play being able to sing Zeus with Pluto. Not the first time we've seen it today, in fact. Rapunzel was just played this turn, so she's still drying, but Cindy's ready to go. That 1-cost Diablo still chilling on the board, has now been banished. When banished, you can draw. I think it might have been a rabbit that was found. Three ink still to play with. And it is going to be used on I'm Still Here. So giving resist 2, I think, to Pluto again. That resist 7 menace. All eyes on the Fox top deck. Fox top deck could be a real game changer right now. But I don't think it's there. Go to Margot is definitely an interesting option, however. So Crab is going to slam into Pluto, dealing just 1 damage. Oh no, it does deal 3. So there was resist was given to something else, not Pluto. So Crab deals 3 damage. Pluto is now a 1-5. Or almost a 1-2, right? You just need 2 damage to finish it off. And the Ursula was given extra strength by the crab. But we might see an Elsa rush in, for example, to deal with the Pluto. Elsa's inked instead. Really keeping me guessing here. Are we going to see the Go-Go to Margot? Not yet. We're going to see the Ursula deal with the Pluto. Every time I think I see the play, something else happens. It's going to be Clarabelle for 7. The second Ursula is ready to quest or challenge this turn. It was Smee given resist, apparently. Thank you, Strawberry. Definitely surprised that it wasn't the Pluto again. And it is going to be a quest for 1 with that second Ursula. Will Clarabelle be drawing any cards? 1. 1 card drawn for Clarabelle. Not quite the 7 we saw in the previous Sapphire Emerald game, but card draw is card draw. And it's not got a bad body either. A 5-6 body on Clarabelle. I have to say, I've always been a little bit surprised to see these Clarabelles in Emerald Amethyst so consistently. It's definitely a good card. I'm just not convinced I personally would play it in Emerald Amethyst myself. Never have been, but it does seem to be almost a universally played card in that color combination. Aerial has come through, and it's Let the Storm Rage On, which goes into the hand. Gaston, Ursula, and then one other card in hand. Well, Cindy's going to sing Let the Storm Rage On. Another Ursula drawn. Fun fact about this Ursula Vanessa, the best looking Disney Lorcana content creator revealed that one. That's right, it was me. And then it's going to be another 3 ink spent on Gaston. It's a real back and forth game here with a quest from Rapunzel up to 9, and then the Smee questing as well, taking 1 damage, 11 lore to 7. Suddenly, Amber Steel is in the ascendancy, but that Pluto bodyguard has been dealt with, and this Clarabelle with a 5/6 body can take out Rapunzel. It's going to be the rabbit to start things off, drawing a card. It's going to be Diablo inked, 4 ink to play with. Peter Pan Shadow is an option with Rush. It's also a crab in hand as an option to juice up that Ursula perhaps. It will be Clarabelle challenging Rapunzel. So crab plus Ursula is one option. It could just be Peter Pan. And it will be Peter Pan rushing in, dealing 2 damage. The option is Cindy or Smee. Cindy selected. Smee would also be removing the Peter Pan. Also denying that shift threat potentially from Stout-Hearted. And then the Cursed Merfolk will also come down for 1 ink. Ursula is able to quest for 1. Could challenge Smee, but that doesn't sound too good, so it will quest for 1. 11 lore to 8. This game might be over before we know it. This is game 2. Amber Steel went first in this game, number 2. Clarabelle draws 1 card when they pass turn. But I can see a whole new world in hand and a couple of Singer 5s on the board. Daisy Duck ready to quest as well. Daisy questing for 2 up to 13. Of course, the trigger comes through. Clarabelle gets added to hand, but is it going to be swiftly discarded by the whole new world? Ursula Vanessa into the inkwell. Will it be Gaston or will it be Ariel singing on this occasion? It's going to be Ariel, and the whole new world has been sung. 3 cards discarded for Emerald Amethyst. 7 cards drawn for each player. Big wide boards for each player. Let the Storm Rage On is going to be hard cast, so 3 ink was spent on Let the Storm Rage On to deal with that Cursed Merfolk. Gaston and Smee still ready and waiting, as well as I think a 5 ink there. Ursula Vanessa was already inked this turn. It's going to be, and then along came Zeus, striking down that Clarabelle, sung by Gaston. Smee still ready and waiting. It is going to be 2 ink spent on Smee. 2 ink still left. Possibly even 3, actually. I'm sat quite far away from the monitor here. I'm leaning back, making myself comfy. It's been a long one. It's Smee as well. Another 2 spent on Smee. And yeah, just a Cinderella for good measure. Smee's going to quest for 2. Up to 15 and within touching distance. We'll take another damage. but it looks like the writing might be on the wall here. Big board clear needed, but there's an abundance of cards to work with thanks to that whole new world. Things like Fox, Elsa, Crabs. They can definitely make the difference here, but is it going to be too little too late? I'm suddenly leaning forward in anticipation, trying to see what's in hand. Is there anything that can make a difference? Well, there's the Ursula Sea Witch Queen. That could be shifted on to the Ursula Deceiver. Rabbit's going to start things off by removing the Smee, and it removes itself, so a card is drawn. Looking for a miracle, doesn't find a miracle. I'm not sure there's anything in the deck that they could use at this point to keep in it. Let's see. It's going to be a Crab. Crab's going to turn the Ursa into a 4-strength challenger this turn. Removes Gaston. But those Smees are ready and waiting. One of these ready characters has to be banished or it's over. I'm just not sure there's enough here. Just checking all the possible outs. Amber Steel. It looks like it's taken it down, one going first, which has been a bit of a theme of the day for Amber Steel on the streamed matches. Has struggled going second, but has put on a good showing going first. It was definitely a bit close for comfort on this occasion. It is going to be Elsa exerting one of the Smees. Peter Pan and the Elsa will combine to take out that Smee. But the Daisy, the Ariel remain ready and waiting. Ursula into the ink. In comes Diablo. That's the game. It's one game apiece. Congratulations to both players. Emerald Amethyst, Amber Steel, both win while going first. And that is the end of round 7 of Swiss here at the Lorcana Battle of the Bay in California. We're in the San Francisco Bay Area. Whole bunch of different stores in this area all coming together to support this event. Super grateful to be here. We're going to try and have a little chat with our players. But now, what the people have really been waiting for. It's time for taco review time with me, Joe Curley. I've got my tacos. All right. I've got some hot sauce. We're not going to risk it. We're going to go in, all right? Kind of dry for talking. All right, hot sauce time. I've been told reliably by the man in my ear it's not too spicy. Am I being set up? That is good. The hot sauce is really good. We're going to go to commercial. I'm going to eat my tacos.